He built an empire, then found his lost love begging on the street. Toronto's streets hum. Lucas rules an empire, but one glance stops him cold. A beggar's eyes spark a lost love. Can he heal her wounds? Drop your city below. This one's deep. Lucas Reed Carver, 32, commanded Toronto's fine dining scene, a chain of upscale restaurants, his name both feared and revered. That morning, stepping out of his flagship spot, Aurora, for a quick call, something halted him. Amid the city's rush, suits hustling, horns blaring, a woman sat huddled on the sidewalk, a thin blanket draped over her shoulders, a small girl nestled in her lap. Her gaze was low, but when she looked up, time froze. Elise, Lucas breathed, the name slipping out like a reflex, heart outpacing his mind. She blinked, startled, as if seeing a ghost. Her face was gaunt, hair cropped and dull, but those deep brown eyes, strong, gentle, were unmistakable. The girl, golden curls framing a wary face, clung tighter to her mother. Lucas, Elise whispered, barely audible, like a secret she hadn't meant to spill. His world tilted. 15 years since she'd vanished. No word, no trace, leaving a scar he'd never closed. Without a thought, he shrugged off his tailored coat, kneeling to drape it over her. What happened? He asked, voice softer than he'd meant, raw with questions. Elise's eyes dropped. Long story. The girl, Ava, he'd later learn, burrowed deeper, scared. Passers-by gawked, employees, diners, strangers. Toronto's titan kneeling before a homeless woman. "Come with me," Lucas said, hand outstretched. "I can't," she murmured, pride flickering. "You can, trust me." Gently he helped her stand, Ava clinging to her neck. Ignoring the stares, he led them inside Aurora, barking orders. Hot food, clean clothes now. Waiter scrambled, the manager didn't blink. In a private VIP room, Lucas shut the door, silence settling heavy. Elise sat, Ava asleep on her shoulder. "Where'd you go?" he asked, voice tight with years of hurt. She swallowed, eyes glistening. "I left because I thought it was right." He frowned, leaning in. "That's no answer." A tear fell. "It is when you're 16, pregnant, alone, and the boy you love is bound for a big future." His breath caught, heart stumbling. "Pregnant?" She nodded, voice breaking. "Our son, Jacob. I couldn't keep him. No money, no family. I gave him up." The words landed like a blow. Lucas leaned back, mind reeling. A son, lost to time. "I've carried that guilt every day," she whispered. He exhaled, anger, grief, and relief warring inside. Relief at knowing, finally. "And her?" He nodded at Ava. "My daughter, from a marriage. He died. Bad man, left us in debt. We've been on the streets. Weeks now." A knock broke the moment. Steaming plates, fruit, water. Elise thanked the waiter, voice small. Ava stirred, smelling food, her wide eyes landing on Lucas. "Mommy, who's he?" "An old friend, sweetheart," Elise said, soft. Lucas smiled, gentle. "Hey, Ava, I'm Lucas." She nibbled bread, shy but curious. Watching them, hungry, broken yet fierce, stirred something primal in him. "You're not staying on the street," he said, firm. "Hotel tonight, tomorrow we talk." Elise's pride flared, but exhaustion won. She nodded, gratitude shadowed by shame. The hotel was simple, clean sheets, soft bed, a view Ava gasped at. "Mom, it's like a castle." Elise knelt beside her, smiling. "It is, baby." In the lobby, Lucas lingered. His driver waited, but he couldn't leave. Elise's face, Ava's tiny hands, memories of their teenage laughter flooded back. He dialed his aide, Marcus. "Get clothes, papers, essentials. Woman named Elise Quinn, kid named Ava." Marcus paused. "This the sidewalk lady?" "Just do it," Lucas snapped. "And start hiring. Assistant manager, Tribeca spot. She's in." Marcus balked. "You sure? You know her?" Lucas's voice dropped. Better than anyone. He hung up, heart loud. Rules be damned, this was bigger. Next morning, Elise woke to Ava glued to cartoons, new clothes draped on a chair, a bag quietly delivered. She sighed, grateful, uneasy. Hours later, at Aurora Tribeca, she stepped through glass doors, dark wood, spice-scented air, elegance screaming wealth. In a crisp blouse, hair tied back, she felt like an imposter. Brooke, the manager, greeted her, sharp-eyed. "Lauren, boss's orders." Elise shook her hand. "Thank you." Whispers trailed her. Coworkers' glances stung, but streets had taught her to shrug off judgment. She learned the menu, systems, dodged prying chats, exhausted but head high by day's end. Lucas tracked it from afar, reports, feedback, staying hands-off but tethered. That evening, he swung by Tribeca unannounced. Elise was in the office, sorting papers, uniform spotless, focus fierce. She grinned, playful. "Evening, Mr. Carver." He smirked, arms crossed. "Mr. Carver, new one, first day, how was it?" "Tough but fair," she said. "Anyone rough?" "Nothing I can't take." He studied her strength, still radiant through cracks. "Got a deal," he said, sliding an envelope over. 3-month contract, assistant manager, pay, housing, health, all in, long enough to stand tall, or prove you're staying. Her hands shook, holding it. "Why, Lucas?" His eyes locked on hers, steady. "You believed in me when I was nothing. Now it's my turn." Silence held them, words unspoken but felt. Across Toronto, Marcus frowned at his screen. A faded photo of Lucas and Elise, 16, laughing in a park. In his drawer, a crumpled letter he'd forged years ago, signed Elise. Lucas didn't know yet. Lucas Reed Carver sat in a sleek Toronto boardroom, executives' voices fading to static. His mind clung to Elise Mara-Quinn, her shy smile, her steady gaze hiding tremors, the way she cradled Ava. "Lucas," Marcus said, hand on his shoulder, snapping him back. "You with us?" Lucas blinked, caught. Marcus traded glances with the team, dismissing them with a subtle nod. Alone, he crossed his arms, eyes heavy. "This assistant manager gig, Elise, from the streets, you're betting big on someone gone 15 years. Lucas leaned forward, elbows on the table, fire in his stare. "You don't know her pain." Marcus paced, voice tight. "Neither do you, not fully." Silence stretched, thick. "You're Mr. Logic, Lucas. Since when do you chase feelings?" Lucas's reply cut sharp. "Since I saw her, thought she was gone forever." Marcus faltered, just a beat, but Lucas caught it. "You're too edgy for just helping. What's up?" Marcus smoothed his face, cool. "Just watching your back." Lucas narrowed his eyes. "Or hiding something?" The question hung, unanswered, heavy. "Tisa." At Aurora Tribeca, Elise sorted stock in the storage room, fighting to focus. Whispers from the dining floor, co-workers' side eyes, burned. Word of her street past spread fast. Brooke, the manager, strode in, arms crossed. "All good here?" Elise nodded, steady. "Just tweaking orders." Brooke's gaze sharpened. "Straight talk. You and the boss, whatever you were, this place runs on merit. No free rides." Elise met her eyes, firm. "I don't want one." Brooke lingered, then left, tension trailing. Elise exhaled, fists tight. She'd sworn no tears at work, and she wouldn't break. Oh, that night, Lucas appeared at her temporary apartment, a bag of toys in hand. Ava squealed, hugging him. "You're spoiling her," Elise teased, smiling soft. "Gotta show her the world's got some light," he said, ruffling Ava's curls. She climbed into his lap, easy as if he'd always been there. Lucas's chest warmed strange, new. "Can we talk?" he asked, nodding to the balcony. City lights glittered below, air cool. "I never stopped thinking of you," he started, voice low. "Every day." Elise's breath hitched. "Me too, but I was ashamed. I broke us, giving Jacob up. I felt hollow." His eyes widened, a question he'd buried rising. Jacob, our son? She looked away, heart racing, then nodded. Yes, Lucas. The world slowed. He stepped back, breath shallow. A son, real, out there, unknown. I had nothing, she whispered, voice cracking. No family, no way to keep him. I thought he'd have a better life. Lucas's chest nodded. Anger, grief, relief at truth. I'm finding him, he said, resolute, if you're okay with it. Elise nodded, tears brimming, fear and hope tangled. What if he doesn't want us? Only one way to know, he said, soft but sure. Across town, Marcus paced Tribeca's back lot, phone pressed tight. Dig up everything on Elise Quinn. Past, records, dirt. The voice on the line was crisp. That'll cost. Money's no issue, just get me leverage. He hung up, staring at his reflection. Anger smoldered. He'd loved Elise at 16, forged that letter to split her from Lucas. Now, her return, claiming Lucas's heart, was a knife. He'd play dirty to keep control. Sleepless, Lucas sat at his desk pre-dawn, emailing his lawyer, find a boy, adopted 15 years ago, Toronto. Mother, Elise Quinn. Jacob's name echoed, a son he'd never held. Elise woke to Ava clutching a stuffed bunny Lucas gave her, cartoons blaring. On her way to Tribeca, memories of Jacob stung, hospital smells, his tiny warmth, the adoption papers' weight. Telling Lucas lifted a burden, but opened old wounds. What if Jacob hated her? At a quiet cafe, Marcus met a man with sharp eyes. Jacob Quinn, adopted Toronto. 15 years ago, Marcus said. The man typed fast. Why's this kid matter? Protecting a friend, Marcus lied, smooth. The man nodded. 5 days, I'll have a location. Marcus smirked. He'd find Jacob first, shape the game. That afternoon, Lucas hit Tribeca unannounced, finding Elise in the kitchen, checking deliveries. Need a word, he said, calm but urgent. In the office, her pulse raced. She'd braced for this. Hired a team to trace Jacob, he said. They're digging into adoptions from back then. She nodded, throat tight. If we find him, you decide if we reach out. But I'd like to meet him, if he's open. Tears welled. She hadn't dared hope for this grace. Thank you for not hating me. He smiled, faint. Hate you? I'm just catching up. And Ava, she's got me hooked. Elise laughed, relief flickering. But it dimmed fast. Post-shift, Brooke cornered her, voice casual but edged. Boss dropped by again, huh? And that contract, housing, benefits, fat pay. Not bad for someone off the curb. Elise bit back a retort. Silence was her shield. Oh, hope you know what you're doing, Brooke added, smile thin. Elise walked off, weary. She'd prove her worth, but a darker threat loomed. Next morning, Lucas's inbox pinged. Subject, Jacob update. Records found. Boy, adopted, Connecticut. Matches Elise's details, contacting family soon. His heart leapt. Jacob was close. Lucas Reed Carver froze, staring at his screen. Jacob update. Boy, adopted, Connecticut. Matches Elise's details. His son, 15 years lost, was real, close. Heart pounding, he dialed Elise Mara Quinn. We need to talk, now. In her temporary Toronto apartment, Elise gripped the phone, Ava asleep nearby. They found Jacob, Lucas said, voice steady but heavy. Her breath caught. Her son's name tore through years of buried pain. You're sure? She whispered, voice trembling. Records check out, Dawson family, Connecticut. He's doing well. Elise closed her eyes. Relief crashed. Fear chased it. He's safe, she murmured, but panic spiked. What if he hates me, Lucas? What if he asks why I left? His voice softened, firm. You'll tell him the truth. If he's angry, you'll face it, but you can't run anymore. Silence lingered, heavy with a shared vow. They'd tackle this together. Comment pizza. If you're deep in this tale, only real ones know. 2 weeks later, under a Connecticut sun, Lucas and Elise stood before a modest house, its garden tidy. Ava flipped a picture book in the car. Ready? Lucas asked, hand brushing hers. No, Elise said, voice shaky, but I'm going. Karen Dawson opened the door, smile kind, but eyes knowing. Come in, Jacob's out back with Brad. Elise's pulse raced. Lucas squeezed her hand. Brad, soft-spoken, led Jacob over. Wavy brown hair, bright eyes, a curious tilt to his head. No recognition, just kid's open gaze. Hi, Jacob, Lucas said, crouching. I'm Lucas. This is Elise. Jacob glanced at his adoptive parents. Friends of Mom and Dad? Elise's voice wavered. Sort of. Can we chat a bit? He nodded, leading them to a backyard table. Juice, cookies, scribbled drawings scattered. Do you draw? Elise asked, pointing to a sketch. Jacob lit up. Yeah, I want to be an inventor, like on TV. She laughed, soft. You'll be amazing. Lucas watched Jacob's eyes. His stance echoed him. Pride and ache tangled. His son thriving, yet a stranger. Later, Karen called Jacob inside, Brad murmuring, We'll give you space. Elise sat on a bench under an oak, tears brimming. I can't do this, Lucas. He's perfect, and I abandoned him. He knelt beside her. You survived. You're here now, trying. She sobbed. Guilt for yesterday, hope for today, love for a boy she dreamed of. Across state lines, Marcus watched the Dawson house from a tinted rental car, snapping photos. His informant shifted. Release these. Not yet, Marcus said, voice cold. Stay ahead. The man raised a brow. What's your win here? Marcus's jaw tightened. I loved her first. He stole her. Now he'll feel loss. Back in Toronto, Lucas and Elise visited Jacob again. Gentle meets, always with Karen and Brad's blessing. Jacob warmed, chatting easier. One day he tugged Elise's sleeve. Why do you cry when you see me? Her smile trembled. I waited so long for you. My heart's just waking up. He hugged her, small, instinctive, feeling what words couldn't hold. Ava, meanwhile, glued herself to Jacob, chattering, dragging him to play. When's next time she'd whine at goodbyes? But at Aurora's headquarters, trouble brewed. Marcus leaked whispers to investors. Lucas tangled with a shaky ex-homeless woman, risking the brand. A partner cornered him, voice tight. Your image, Lucas. This woman's a liability. Lucas's eyes blazed. Her name's Elise. Hypocrisy tanks companies, not heart. The partner frowned. Someone's gunning for you. Lucas's gut twisted. Marcus's shadow loomed. That night, Elise's phone rang. A voice, cold, familiar. Living large now, princess? While you ruin him? Marcus, her blood chilled. What do you want? I'm just starting. She hung up, heart racing, as Lucas walked in. What's wrong? She hesitated, then spilled. Marcus says he'll destroy you. Lucas's jaw clenched. Enough. Next day, he called Marcus to Aurora's boardroom. I know your game. Rumors, investigators turning my partners. Marcus didn't flinch. I warned you. She'll sink you. Lucas stepped closer, voice steel. What sank me was your letter, faked. Her name, your hand. You split us. Marcus paled. You had no right to her. Lucas's voice dropped, final. You're out company, my life. Marcus scoffed, stepping near. You'll regret this. I already did, trusting you. Marcus stormed out, door slamming, loyalty shattered. Elise waited in the lobby, catching Marcus's glare as he passed. Lucas emerged, tense but lighter. He's gone, he said. She gripped his hand. I'm sorry? Don't be. His choice, not ours. Their eyes held, regrets, possibilities swirling. Days later, Lucas and Elise watched Ava and Jacob toss water balloons in the Dawsons' yard, laughter ringing. Karen smiled nearby. He's got your focus, Elise said, shy. Lucas grinned. And your stubborn streak. She sighed, leaning close. Thank you for all this. Just stay, he murmured. Ava ran up, giggling, cutting the moment. But their bond tightened, roots sinking deep. Nah. Ava, Jacob's teaching me rocket sketches. Ava Quinn squealed, laughing as Jacob grinned beside her. Elise Mara Quinn smiled, warmth cracking her guarded heart. You'll be the first astronaut artist, and I'll build her rockets, Jacob added, eyes bright. Lucas Reed Carver watched from the temporary Toronto apartment's porch, throat tight. This family was what he'd never known he craved. Elise joined him, city buzz fading to a hum. This feels too big, she whispered, voice shaky. After all I hid, all I broke. Lucas set his coffee down, gaze steady. You didn't hide to hurt. You were surviving. She bit her lip, tears welling. What if Jacob asks why I left? He leaned closer, voice firm. You tell him you were young, scared, alone, and you did your best. Then you ask forgiveness. She nodded, resting her head on his shoulder. I'm sorry for everything. His arm slid around her, solid. So am I. Meanwhile, Marcus wasn't done. Bitter, he fed a journalist Elise's past. Shelters, bad marriage, whispers she'd snagged Lucas for cash. 5 days later, headlines hit. Ex-homeless mom climbs to tycoon's side, scandal or scheme. At Aurora's headquarters, the board pounced. This media storm, investors are spooked, a director snapped. Your credibility's at stake. Lucas stood, calm but steel. I'll fix it. Next morning, he faced cameras at Aurora Tribeca, envelope in hand. Flashes popped, murmurs rose. Rumors question my company's integrity, he began, voice clear. Elise Quinn faced homelessness. Doesn't define her. Her strength, her care for her daughter, her dignity, that does. I hired her because she's capable, and yes, we're personal. That's not unprofessional, it's human. Uff. He stepped down, applause rippling. Not universal, but enough. A new Lucas emerged, unafraid, rooted in truth. Hours later, Elise watched the clip at home. Ava asleep beside her, tears falling. Lucas arrived, finding her at the door, envelope clutched. You didn't need to do that, she said, voice trembling. I did. The world had to hear it. She stepped closer, eyes searching. I'm still scared. Me too, he said, soft. But I'm not running. I'm staying. They hugged tight, no grand vows, just shared breath, fear fading into trust. A week later, Brad Dawson called. Jacob wants a weekend with you. Lucas nearly dropped his phone. An honor when? Brad paused. You're doing right by him. Tell him the truth, with care. Always, Lucas vowed. That Friday, Jacob arrived backpack bouncing, grin wide. Ava tackled him with hugs. Elise's smile glowed. They baked lopsided cakes, built blanket forts, laughed until cheeks hurt. Saturday night, kids asleep. Lucas found Elise in the kitchen. Is he ready to know? She nodded, slow. We are. Sunday dawned soft. Sunlight spilled over the apartment, forts still standing. Jacob and Ava snored, tangled in blankets. Lucas flipped pancakes, Elise in pajamas teasing, full-on weekend dad now? He grinned. Toughest gig, best one. She sipped coffee, eyes serious. Today's it. He nodded, gut heavy. No perfect words, just honest ones. Post-breakfast, they sat in the living room. Ava puzzling on the rug, Jacob clutching a toy car, watching them, sharp and quiet. Lucas took a breath, glancing at the lease. Jacob, can we tell you a story about you, Elise, and me? The boy frowned, curious. What kind? Elise's voice softened. About choices, mistakes, and love. Lucas knelt, eye level. Long ago, I knew a girl, Elise. We were close. She had to leave, no goodbye, because she was having a baby. Jacob's eyes widened. She was your girlfriend? Yeah, Lucas said, voice steady, and the baby was you. Elise leaned in, hands trembling, holding his. I was young, scared, thought you'd have a better life with a family I couldn't be then. Jacob blinked fast, processing. Why'd you come back? Because I never stopped loving you, Elise whispered, tears falling. I just didn't know how to fix it, Until now. Lucas added, gentle, I only learned about you recently. All I want is to be near you, not taking anything, just adding. Jacob's eyes shimmered. No anger, just questions. So, you're my dad? Lucas's heart skipped. If you want me to be. Jacob glanced at Elise, then asked, will my parents now stay my parents? Always, she said, instant. They love you. Nothing changes that. Can I visit you? He asked Lucas, small. Anytime, your pace. Lucas smiled. Jacob leaned into Lucas's shoulder, silent, a wordless bond sealing. That afternoon, he and Ava raced through a Toronto park. Frisbee, ice cream, sand castles in a playground pit. Lucas and Elise watched from a bench. He took it better than I dreamed, Lucas said, voice thick. Elise nodded. Kids feel truth. If it's from the heart, they know. He squeezed her hand. You love like you've carried it all, but never let it die. She laughed, sad but alive. If I stopped loving, I'd stop breathing. He leaned in, forehead to hers. No words, just presence. We're family now? She asked, being soft. He nodded, eyes locked, answer clear. Karen and Brad Dawson sat on their Connecticut porch, smiling at a photo Elise sent, Jacob and Ava, ice cream smearing their grins. He's happy, Brad said, voice soft. Karen nodded. I'm not jealous. Love's never too much. 2 moms, 2 dads. He's richer for it. Brad squeezed her hand, letting him know his full story. That's our biggest love yet. In Toronto, Elise returned to Aurora Tribeca Monday, chin high. Curious stares lingered, but her stride was new, not from Lucas's shadow, but her own strength, forged through fire. Post-shift, Brooke pulled her into the office, tone direct. I misjudged you thought you were coasting on the boss, but you work hard. Listen, lead. Elisa blinked, stunned. Thanks. That hits deep. Brooke leaned in. If you're staying, I can push you for the executive training program. Elisa's smile bloomed, proud. I'd love it. That night, Lucas cooked. Simple pasta, but warm, meaningful. Elise arrived with Ava. Jacob burst in, school uniform askew. Teacher loved my essay, he beamed. Most touching in class. Lucas raised a brow. About what? Jacob shrugged. My family. 2 homes, 2 moms, 2 dads, 1 loud sister. Ava pouted, mock offended. Laughter erupted. Napkin wars, silly stories. Joy filled the apartment. Later, kids asleep, Elise and Lucas sank onto the couch, her head on his chest. Never thought a fresh start could feel this full, she murmured. He kissed her hair. Now it's here, I won't let it fade. Her eyes softened. Me neither. Next morning, chaos reigned. Lucas, apron on, wrestled waffle batter as Ava demanded sprinkles. Jacob watched, studious, like it was a lab. Elise leaned in the doorway, heart swelling, guilt's old weight lifting, color flooding her world. Kid shadowing your every move, handling it, she teased. Lucas grinned at Jacob. He's keeping me sharp. That afternoon, Jacob returned to Brad and Karen's, hugs tight, no tears. See ya, Dad, he said, first time using the word. Lucas froze, throat thick, then nodded, smile wide. 5 days later, Elise reviewed Tribeca's schedule when her phone pinged, an unknown number. It's not over. You know what you did. Truth costs. Her breath stopped. The phone nearly slipped. The tone, sharp, cold, echoed her late ex-husband's threats. That night, as Lucas prepped for a virtual meeting, Elise showed him the text, voice low. It's him, his style, his venom. Lucas's jaw tightened, eyes scanning the words. Your ex, he's gone, but his circle? She nodded. He had shady friends. Debts they think I owe. Lucas stood resolute. This stops now. Tomorrow we get security, trace the number. If you're scared, we leave town, but no one touches you. Elise exhaled, fear real but shared. I'm not alone anymore, she said, his strength anchoring her. Next day, Lucas's investigator traced the text. A prepaid phone, fake name bought near Elise's old house, tied to her ex's debts. Could be blackmail now that you're public, the investigator said. Or worse, Elise murmured. Lucas gripped her hand. We'll protect what's ours. That week at Tribeca, a woman appeared among diners, thin, heavy makeup, eyes like daggers. Elise froze, tray clattering. Lauren Quinn, the woman purred, smile crooked. Fancy you here, all polished. Elise's voice shook. Priscilla? Her ex-husband's sister. Fake ally, silent betrayer. Huh. Heard your sob story. Tycoon falls for street mom. Cute, Priscilla sneered. But debts don't vanish. My brother's mess is yours. Elise's blood chilled. What do you want? Pay, or old videos, photos, even Ava's baby pics hit the web. Elise's gut twisted. Humiliating files from her ex's control. Blackmail? A chance to save your shiny life, Priscilla said, leaving. That night, Elise told Lucas, voice breaking. I thought those files died with him. She's got them, wants cash. Lucas's face hardened. We go legal. My lawyers will bury her. If she leaks, it's a crime. What if she's faster? Elise asked, trembling. Lucas met her eyes. We tell your truth first. Your pain, your survival, with dignity. Let them judge. Elise stared, his resolve sparking hers. You think people would still see me? I admire you, others will too. She hugged him, tears not from fear, but courage. 3 days later, they faced a press conference, hand in hand. Elise spoke, voice steady despite nerves. I survived abuse, silence, shame, but I'm here, refusing to be silenced by blackmail. Flashes popped, some scoffed, but most cheered. Social media lit up, women sharing their own scars. Across Toronto, Priscilla watched, fuming. She beat me to it, she hissed, but Lucas's legal team was already on her trail. Tribeca's reservations soared. Diners came for Elise's story, her strength. Meanwhile, Jacob and Ava planned a surprise dinner show. Like a wedding? Ava asked, doodling hearts. Jacob shrugged. They're not married, but kind of feels like it. Lucas overheard, smiling. That evening, the apartment glowed. Balloons, kid drawings taped up. Ava wore a paper crown, Jacob a lopsided blazer holding a book as officiant. We're here for Lucas and Elise's union, Jacob declared. Ava waved a crepe bouquet. Elise laughed, touched. You two are wild. Lucas took her hand. We're family, no ceremony needed. But that night in a dark Toronto lot, a man with a worn face spoke into a phone. She slipped through, but we're not done. What's next? The voice asked. Fear works every time. The call cut. Shadows stirred. In the apartment, Elise woke, heart racing. No sound, just a chill. She checked the window. Nothing. Then saw a hallway shadow. Lucas, she whispered. Light flicked on. He stood, phone in hand. Security pinged. Someone tried the side gate. Her pulse spiked. Ava, Jacob? Safe, asleep, no one got in. But his voice carried dread. Fear was back, not just threats, but real. Comment pizza. If you're deep in this, only true fans get it. I do. The apartment was silent, save for Elise's shallow breaths as Lucas stood, phone in hand, eyes scanning the security alert. Someone tried the side gate, he repeated, voice low but steady. Elise's pulse raced. Ava? Jacob? Lucas checked the kids' room, both asleep, safe, unaware of the chill gripping their parents. He dialed security, his tone sharp. Check every camera now. Minutes later, the guard reported, a hooded figure caught on tape, fled when lights flared. No breach, but a message was left. A scrap of paper under the gate. You can't hide forever. Elise's hands shook as she read it, her ex-husband's venom echoing in the words. Priscilla's locked up, she whispered. Who's this? Lucas's jaw clenched. Her pawn, or someone new. We're not waiting to find out. By morning, he'd hired round-the-clock guards and pushed the investigator to dig deeper. The note's handwriting didn't match Priscilla's, but the prepaid phone from her blackmail traced to a man named Victor Klein, her ex's old associate, known for dirty debts. He's a ghost, the investigator warned, but he's in Toronto. At Aurora Tribeca, Elise worked with a forced smile, her mind split between orders and fear. Brooke noticed, pulling her aside. "You're pale. Talk to me." Elise hesitated, then spilled the truth. Victor's shadow, the note. Brooke's eyes narrowed. "You're not alone. If he shows, we've got your back." Elise nodded, warmth cutting through her dread. That evening, Lucas met her at the door, Ava on his hip, Jacob trailing with a math book. "Normal night," he said, voice firm. "They don't get to steal this." Dinner was loud. Ava's giggle fits, Jacob's waffle recipe debate, each laugh a defiance of the dark. Later, kids in bed, Lucas and Elise sat, planning. "Press conference worked," she said. "Telling my truth took her power." Lucas nodded. "We do it again, if we must. Victor wants fear. We give him nothing." His hand found hers, steadying her racing heart. Next day, the investigator called. Victor was spotted near Tribeca watching. Lucas acted fast, alerting police and tightening security. Elise, refusing to hide, went to work, chin high. "He wants me scared," she told Brooke. "I'm done running." That afternoon, Jacob and Ava, under guard, painted posters for their family show sequel. "For you and Lucas," Ava chirped, glitter on her nose. Jacob added, "To make you smile." Elise hugged them, her courage bolstered. But at dusk, tension snapped. A Tribeca waiter rushed in. "Some guy's outside, staring, won't leave." Elise peered through the window. Victor, lean, eyes cold, stood across the street, her breath caught. Brooke called security. Lucas arrived, face like stone. "Stay inside," he told Elise's, stepping out with guards. Victor smirked, hands raised, but his words cut. "Elise owes. Her ex's debts are mine. Pay, or those kids." Lucas lunged, restrained by guards as police sirens wailed. Victor slipped into an alley, gone. Back home, Elise trembled, holding Ava tight. Lucas knelt, fierce. "He won't touch you, and I swear it." But that night, a new text pinged from an unknown number. "Next time, I'm closer." Elise froze, the phone's glow casting shadows. A creak echoed downstairs. The creak downstairs echoed in Elise's ears, her heart pounding as she whispered, "Lucas?" He flicked on the hall light, phone already dialing security. "Stay with the kids," he said, voice calm but fierce. Ava and Jacob slept soundly, unaware of the threat. Security swept the building. No breach, but cameras caught Victor Klein's car circling the block. A new note, slipped under the door, read, "Pay or lose them." Elise's hands shook. Her ex-husband's debts, a ghost that wouldn't fade. Lucas called the investigator before sunrise. "Victor's desperate," the man said. "He's alone. Priscilla's arrest cut his funds. Police set a trap, tracing his burner phone. By noon, they had him, arrested at a gas station. His car stuffed with fake IDs and Elise's old photos. He's facing extortion and stalking," the investigator confirmed. Elise exhaled, leaning into Lucas. "It's over." He nodded, eyes soft. "You're safe, all of you." At Aurora Tribeca, Elise returned to work, her smile fragile but real. Brooke, wiping down tables, nudged her. "You're tougher than steel, you know that?" Elise laughed, the weight lifting. "Takes a village." That evening, Lucas cooked tacos, Ava demanding extra cheese, while Jacob quizzed him on spice ratios. "You're worse than my teacher," Lucas teased. Ava giggled, tossing a napkin. Jacob grinned, plotting their next family show. Elise watched, her heart full. Their joy was her shield. Later, kids asleep, Lucas and Elise sat on the couch, city lights glinting outside. "I thought I'd always run," she admitted, tracing his hand. You showed me I could stand. He kissed her forehead. You stood first. I just held you up. She smiled, tears brimming. We're a team. Next day, Karen and Brad visited, bringing Jacob's latest drawing, 4 figures under a Toronto skyline. He says it's home, Karen said. Elise's throat tightened. 2 homes, 1 heart. A week later, the restaurant buzzed with Ava and Jacob's show sequel. Ava, in a paper tiara, waved a sparkly wand, declaring, "This is for Mommy's bravery." Jacob, holding a cardboard mic, narrated their epic family adventure. Guests, Brooke, staff, even regulars, cheered. Elise, blushing, hugged them. "You're my heroes," she whispered. Lucas, filming, caught her eye, his grin saying everything. As spring bloomed, Lucas planned a summer trip to Niagara Falls. Boat rides, fireworks. The kids will go wild, he said. Elise smirked. You just want the cheesy photos, he laughed, pulling her close. I want us, forever. That night, Elise stood by the window, Toronto's glow steady. Her past, scars, debts, fear, hadn't vanished, but it no longer ruled. She turned to Lucas, asleep with Ava's stuffed bunny on the couch, and smiled. They'd built a life stronger than shadows. Love lit their way. Lucas, Elise, and their kids shine on. What's your story's light? Comment pizza if this warmed your soul. Elise smirked. You just want the cheesy photos, he laughed, pulling her close. I want us, forever. That night, Elise stood by the window, Toronto's glow steady. Her past, scars, debts, fear, hadn't vanished, but it no longer ruled. She turned to Lucas, asleep with Ava's stuffed bunny on the couch, and smiled. They'd built a life stronger than shadows. Love lit their way. Lucas, Elise, and their kids shine on. What's your story's light? Comment pizza if this warmed your soul.